is an electric guitar, and this is a rucksack, and this is an electric guitar in a rucksack. Yep, this is the Easy Fold guitar from Makiv Guitars, and I've had it for about 6 months, and it's been pretty much everywhere with me. I took it all the way to NAMM, and it barely made a difference to my luggage allowance. Most recently, I've taken it to the Ibanez Guitar Festival in Germany so I could warm up my guitar chops before stepping into the same room as Paul Gilbert. And as much as I love my normal guitars, this thing made life a lot easier. Speaking of easier, I'm going to put a strap on it so I can hold it a little better. There. Now it does sit a little bit more comfortably and my hands are free to play rather than to hold. So, let's take a little bit of a closer look. It is indeed a folding guitar. Let's treat it as a normal guitar for the purpose of this next part, and then we'll move on to the foldability in a bit. This thing is made of real wood. There's no graphite or anything like that involved. We've got an older body. We've got a maple neck and maple fretboard. Then we have 6 strings strung in standard tuning. The fretboard radius is a rather comfortable 12 inches, and these are 22 stainless steel frets. As for the electronics, we've got master volume, master tone, and an Alnico 2 magnet humbucker. And moving down to the bridge, this is an EF headless 6 bridge. And before I had this guitar in, I hadn't seen this bridge before in my life, and I'm guessing you probably haven't either. So I'll go into how that works in a moment. Up at the nut, we've got a bone nut, and this is the brass top lock, which is a proprietary top lock thing made by Makiv. And this is pretty much like a locking nut, but it's done slightly differently. It's clamping each string individually with a little Allen key grub screw. And my strings are poking at the top here, so it's strung backwards. So whereas you'd normally put the ball ends there, and the ball ends would be here, the ball ends are up here on this guitar, and the non-ball end is there. There's no reason to have these on here, apparently. Once it's locked in, it's locked in. I just didn't chop them off. And I guess the big question is, how does it fold? Well, I'll take the strap back off for this part. And all you do, if I flip it round, you've got this aluminium plate on the back, which is the basis of this design. You unscrew this screw like this, and you can take this all the way out or just leave it poking in there, which is I like to do so you don't lose it. And then you just give it a little nudge, a little wiggle. And there you go. Well, hang on, let's bring that string round. It is now folded, like so, and it will fit in your rucksack or suitcase, or you can just carry it to practice and pretend your guitar's broken. That's it. And then to put it back together, very important, make sure your strings are aligned on to the saddles, which if you don't, can end badly. There we go. And then just pop it in, and then pop that screw back in. And you're ready to go. I have changed the strings on this because I wanted to see what was going on with this bridge, and I've been using the guitar for 6 months or so, and for this review I wanted to make sure that they were fresh strings. But let's talk about the tuning. On this bridge we've got 6 individual wheels just here, and this makes this part rotate, and the string is sitting on this saddle here. So if I turn that clockwise, in fact if I turn the tuner off for a moment, it will increase in pitch. Other way obviously decreases in pitch. So of course I'd love it to be in tune as you snapped it back in, and it used to be, which frustrates me. But since I've restrung it, I have to give it a little tune. But it's like, what, 20 seconds and you're ready to go? Now that it's back together, an obvious question is, how stable is that? Well, it's stable. It does not move. I mean, there is a small, minute wiggle there, but there is less wiggle on that than there is on a regular bolt-on Strat or Tele or something like that. It's not moving. So this is far from a DIY job or far from something somebody knocked up in their garage. This is a machined piece of art that actually works. And I know that it looks a bit weird and looks tiny on me, and especially compared to a, let's say, regular-sized guitar. But it is regular-sized. It's not mini in any way in terms of guitar. This is a 24 3/4 inch scale length, the same as many Gibsons. It is just missing a lot of wood in the body area, and it folds at the neck, which must mean we lose tone, right? Well, I genuinely don't think so. Let's have another listen. Now, of course, if I take the fuzz off and the drive off, we'll just get the clean from the JTM Studio. And hopefully you can also hear that it is perfectly intonated. I've had guitars that don't stay intonated, regular guitars I want to say. The guitars that do not have any modern innovation in them, and they sound out of tune. This one sounds great. Sound-wise, it is quite snappy and bright and full of attack, and there's a surprising amount of sustain on there, no matter what tone wood freaks would let you believe. There is, of course, only one pickup, this humbucker at the bridge, so to get a more necky sort of sound out of it, you can use the tone knob quite successfully. And on that, everything feels quality. Nothing feels like janky or falling apart or loose or something that I associate with travel guitars, you know, which are less than a huge compromise compared to what we expect from a non-travel guitar. Everything in the Easy Fold just feels quality and makes me want to play it. So let's put that drive back on and have a mess with the tone knob. That's everything on 10. And until we get right to the end of that tone knob, nothing sounds like a tone is being rolled off. It just sounds like you're changing the characteristics. And I think if I throw the fuzz back on, you can get some great early Clapton. So that's 10 on volume, 0 on tone. So it's usable across the board, which isn't the case with a lot of tone knobs and volume knobs. So with everything back on 10... there is sustain there, and yes, the amp is fairly loud in this room, but I think with any sort of modern modeling thing, or for me, this with the Spark Neo headphones is an ultimate practice rig for traveling. And it sounds good on there too. Let's play back with the volume knob, see what that gets us. And both of these are stiff. There's no janky feeling, no like, that just feels cheap. Everything feels good. In fact, I'm going to open that up in a moment. We're also going to have a look at that pickup because I'm really curious to see what it is. And I don't have to take the strings off the guitar to do that. I can just fold it in half. Before we open it up, let's talk about the playability. Now, it's going to feel weird to anybody who picks this up for the first time because it is small. And I'm getting big Marty McFly and the Pinheads vibes from this, which I really, really like. In fact, hang on. Great. Because it is smaller, however, I am forced to put my fingers in a smaller space. And it does feel a little bit unnatural for me because I have big hands and already I have trouble with 43mm nuts. This is a 42-ish, I think. Hang on, let's measure it. I've got a measuring stick just here. Get that right around the nut, and that is 42.09. So let's crack it open, have a look in the back panel there and see what humbucker this is. First things first, let's take a close-up look of this bridge. Because you may have seen headless guitars before with a weird bridge with the tuners down here, but I'm guessing that most people have not seen this exact bridge. And to tune it, you have to turn these thumb wheels, much like you might have to do on the wheels that are on other headless guitars. But what's different about this is that if you have to turn them a long way, it comes with this little key that's hidden in the bridge and attaches magnetically. All you do is slot it down in there and then start turning. And for changing strings, that is absolutely brilliant. And when you're done, pop it back in there. In there, we've got what looks like a paper in oil capacitor and two large and high quality looking pots. I'll pop those out in a moment. But then take a look at this. On the output jack, these heat shrunk over the lugs kind of thing. And I've not seen that on a guitar before. To me, this indicates quality. Let's have a look at what's going on with these pots. I don't see any branding on these pots, but they look and feel great. This one is B500K and this one is A500K, which explains the roll-off on these. What I would like to point out is that it is possible to coil split the humbucker, but Makeve haven't done it, and I find that a bit disappointing. And normally, if I want a humbucker guitar, I'll grab a humbucker guitar, and if I want a single coil guitar, I'll grab a guitar with a single coil in it. However, this sort of thing, you want flexibility as much as you can. And it is a shame that they haven't put a little switch in there to split that coil. I do understand that space is an issue and putting in a push-pull pot would mean that it might not fit in this cavity. But a little switch just here would have, or down there, would have worked the world of wonders. I'll put that back together and then we'll get that pickup out. All right, moment of truth. What is going on here? Lots of cable. Okay. No, again, no markings on that. I have no idea. It sounds great. It sounds very attacky, very rocky, very bridgy, but then with that tone knob again, it does become more subtle. I think it's the perfect pickup for this guitar. Right, let's put it back together, ensuring that these strings are lying over those saddles, because if you don't, it really can cause problems. There we are. And let's take it apart again because I want to show you the wear and tear on this. This is about 6 months of use, at least, I don't know, at least 3 times a week, and traveling and all sorts. And to explain the setup a little bit, we've got this neck is rotating on some sort of pin in there. And then you've got this little part here, which stops the neck from going all the way around. In terms of wear and tear, I guess that could get worn out, but it would be easy to replace. But I don't see it getting worn out anytime soon. Let's just weigh it to see what we're looking at. I've been told 2 kilograms. Let's see how close they are. 195, not bad. And finally, let's measure the output of this pickup. We're looking at 8.6. 8.6. Right, let's talk money. The basic version of the Easy Fold guitar is around $550 at time of filming. The Easy Fold Modern Basic, which is the one that is this shape, is a bit more expensive. It's about $40 more. And then this is the Easy Fold Modern Pro, which is about $1,000. So bear in mind, if you want the fancy schmancy version like this, it is almost twice the price of the basic version. But if you look at that another way, the basic version is almost half the price of this. And there are just a few differences in components. And if you're more traditional, but still need a travel guitar and like the idea of this, but this shape for some reason puts you off, or the colors, there's the Tele Foldster Pro, which is a Telecaster-shaped version of this. And there's also a bass version. The thing with travel guitars is, whatever you do, there are going to be some compromises. And the main compromise of the easy fold guitars is looks. You have a fully functioning hardtail humbucker-equipped guitar. That doesn't mean it's perfect. There are some things that I would change about it. First thing would be maybe that coil split switch, because it seems just a shame that it's not there. Secondly, the bridge is very difficult to get used to at first. This is a great guitar, even ignoring the fact that you can fold it and fit it in a rucksack or small suitcase. Right, thank you to Makiv for sending this out for review. There are links to their website with all up-to-date pricing down there in the video description and first comment. And let me know what you think in that comment section. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye!